Wow.
You've literally just confirmed by saying I've got footage of that offence happening, a public order offence.
Okay.
Haven't you? You've just...
All right, guys, pay attention, because this one right here spirals fast. What starts as a man standing in public with a camera turns into a full-blown confrontation fueled by assumption, ego, and a complete misunderstanding of the law. You've got warehouse staff reacting emotionally instead of rationally, calling police over something completely lawful. And the moment officers arrive, you can already feel it. The tone is set. Not neutral, not curious, but suspicious from the jump. No effort to understand, no attempt to de-escalate, just the quiet assumption that something illegal must be happening. And that right there is where things begin to go wrong. Because when authority walks in with a conclusion already formed, everything that follows becomes about proving that assumption. Not finding the truth.
Have a chat.
Yeah, we can have a chat here, can't we?
Yeah, we can.
All right, cool. So all I've done today is make some video footage, and I've stuck to everywhere that I'm allowed, apart from apparently Amazon, where I wasn't allowed to step on their site.
Who's allowed you permission on the site?
No one's allowed me permission. This is all public, bro. Don't treat me like I'm silly. Yeah, I do this a lot.
You just said...
Again, identify for me as well, please. Before you do.
Myself,
you do. Okay, what's yours as well, please?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Have you told me that your body worn camera's on? No, you haven't. That's part of your policy. You can clearly see that I'm filming, bro.
Okay, and you can clearly see that that's...
No, I can now.
I don't have to notify you.
You do. It's part of your policy.
No, it's not.
It's part of your policy. This has been proven before that it's part of your policy.
Stop. You just stated that you've been allowed... No,
I don't have to stop.
I'm trying to ascertain what's
I don't have to... Listen, bro, I don't want to interrupt you, but to be honest, I don't want to speak to you, yeah? I'm going about doing my civil right. I'm allowed to go around and film in public areas.
Been allowed. Who has allowed you?
My rights as a human being in this country.
And they have a right to know who is filming or taking photographic images of the building.
No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't.
Now here's where it gets serious. The officer starts pushing the idea that filming requires permission, which is flat out wrong. Filming in public is a protected right. No debate, no gray area. Yet at the same time, he ignores his own responsibility, failing to properly acknowledge body-worn camera use, something that's part of standard policy. So think about that contradiction. He dismisses rules that apply to him while trying to enforce rules that don't exist on the public. That's not just a mistake, that's a mindset problem. And this is exactly why people record these encounters. Because without that camera rolling, this interaction could easily flip. Words get twisted, claims get made, and suddenly the narrative belongs to whoever holds authority, not whoever holds the truth.
It's taking someone to professional standards for exactly the same thing. Okay. Trying to trump up charges that aren't there. Yeah, no, listen. No, I'm not saying that you are. You're trying to tell me though.
You're telling me what has happened. You're just saying you're doing your civil right. Doing what? Taking images.
Filming the building. What, the building. Amazon. Look at this place. It's huge.
I know it's huge, but why? What's the reason why?
Because I like to. I don't have to tell you that.
No, I'm just trying to understand why.
But I know. But I'm going to stick to. I don't have to tell you that. And that's you can say that being as awkward.
How am I supposed to ascertain what's happening?
You don't have to ascertain anything until I've committed the broken.
I've had an incident that's been called.
Have I committed an illegal offence?
Well, as far as what we've heard on the call is that there's been swearing and shouting. So I need to know who that's been coming from.
Those down there, and the video's got it to prove it.
Right. And can you show me that?
Yes, I can.
Because if you're involved in that and you've been shouting and swearing, that is an offence. That is something I need to ascertain what has happened.
Of course. Hey, you know this camera? You see this camera? It's an independent witness.
Yeah,
so that's another reason I film, because when stuff like this happens, yeah, when people try and say stuff happened that didn't happen, we can now go back to this footage and see, can't we?
What we've heard on the call is that there's been lots of shouting and swearing going on.
Right,
so we need to ascertain what that's in relation to. So if people, that's called public order. That is an offence, yeah? And I'm here to try and ascertain.
Let's break it down further. The officer leans into a public order allegation, but there's a problem. There's no clear victim. No one identified as harassed, alarmed, or distressed. And that matters, because that's the legal foundation of the offense. Without that, the whole claim starts falling apart. But instead of stepping back, the officer doubles down. He insists something happened because of what he heard on a call, despite the footage saying otherwise. And this is where things get dangerous. Because now we're not dealing with facts. We're dealing with assumptions being forced into reality. The cameraman stays sharp, challenges every claim, and does exactly what most people don't. He holds his ground and demands...
Being very forthright with me, and I understand why, because
I don't have to. Because I don't have to.
Yeah, but I have to ascertain what's happened.
Yeah, but I don't have to still tell you, bro. This is what I'm like. Until I commit an offence.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're saying a public order offence, yeah?
An offence has been committed.
Where is the person that feels harassed, alarmed and distressed? Where are they? Who are they? You have to have a complainant. Where's the complainant?
No, it doesn't.
Where's the complainant?
No, it has to be an assumed person.
Okay, so
reasonable firmness. You think you know your legislation, but if you do,
that's all you guys want to deal with is legislation. What about what you swore to when you took up your job? Wasn't that under common law? Most of that's under common law, isn't it?
Wasn't under common law.
I don't care. You guys still swear by it.
Pieces of legislation.
I know that.
Swear by common law. There are other pieces of legislation that we swear by.
Okay.
I'm still trying to ascertain what has happened. Now, what I'm saying.
And I've told you what's happened is I've done some filming and they haven't liked it.
And I'm telling you, we are aware that a public order incident has taken place.
No, how are you then? So who was it by?
So I'm trying. I don't know that. I'm trying to ascertain that from yourself. You are reported to be involved. I've come here. I'm trying to ask you what has happened. Now,
so how do you know that one's taken place? If you don't know who done it,
we can hear it on the call.
No one at the time, and that you're now lying. You're lying because I was filming at the time when that call apparently would have come through.
Caught it. You've just said on your camera.
Yeah, I've caught that I haven't. No, it would have been them because it hasn't come from me. So if there is swearing on this footage, it's going to come from them. It won't be coming from me.
Now the pressure shifts. The officer starts pushing for identity, asking for details without a clear legal basis. And this is a classic move. When the original argument weakens, the focus changes. But here's the truth. You don't just get to demand someone's identity because you feel like it. There has to be a lawful reason. And in this case, that foundation just isn't there. The cameraman asks the key question, am I detained? And instead of a clear legal answer, he gets hesitation, deflection, uncertainty. That tells you everything. Because lawful authority doesn't hesitate. It doesn't guess. It either exists or it doesn't. And right now, it's looking that.
Okay. And even this footage now, I don't have to, but I will. I will, just because I can't wait to prove you wrong.
Showing me anything to the contrary.
Okay. Also, I want to know that hang on, before I show you anything.
Public order offence has been committed. Right. We can hear it on the phone call. Swearing and stuff is taking place in public. Now you're saying you can prove that it's not you because you have video.
And if it proves that it's them, are you going to go and deal with that?
I'm going to go have a chat with them afterwards.
Straight up, because I'll be following you to make sure that you do follow it up. Because I know how this works. If I'm swearing in here, you're going to deal with that. But if it comes back that they're swearing in it, you won't deal with that. I ain't stupid. To be honest, I want to go about my business. Am I detained? Am I detained? Am I detained?
I just need to know what's happening.
Yeah, and I'm asking, am I detained? So I'm free to go. Am I free to go?
Well, I need to confirm your identity. So
you don't need to confirm my identity. I don't have to give it you. Till an offence has been committed, I do not have to give it you.
Has been committed.
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. You turning up and saying an offence has been committed doesn't mean one's been
committed.
No, it hasn't.
It's been committed, and you've just confirmed it by saying you've got footage of it on your phone.
Oh, wow.
You've literally just confirmed by saying I've got footage of that offence happening, a public order offence.
Okay.
Haven't you? You've just.
All right. Now watch how it starts to collapse. The footage becomes the turning point. The very thing that triggered the situation, the camera ends up exposing it. No swearing. No aggression from the cameraman. No offense. Just a narrative that doesn't hold up under scrutiny. And suddenly the confidence fades. The officer's position weakens because the evidence doesn't back it. But instead of immediately ending the interaction, there's still this attempt to hold on to control. Pushing for details, stretching the encounter longer than necessary. And that right there is revealing. Because once the facts are clear, the power to continue should disappear with them. But sometimes, letting go...
What I meant in that is, the footage here will show that I didn't at any point swear. The guy started going crazy at me, and I did actually say to him, bro, what you're doing now is a public order offence.
So potentially,
that's what I said to him. So you probably heard me say that on the call.
I also need your details if you are the victim of the public order offence.
Public order offence? You think I'm going to have somebody in trouble for a public order offence? Come on, mate. Yeah.
It's just the issue becomes when you trespass, obviously that's a civil issue.
Of course.
And even more so if you're trying to get into buildings.
Of course.
So we just want to make sure that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. This guy seems to think he's going to... I don't know. You're not having my details. You're not having them. You're not having them. You might be able to take my mates.
You need to go over there and speak to them and take.
Don't. I've just told you I don't want you to.
Right, fine. On your way then.
If I'm free to go, I'm free to stay. So I won't be going nowhere, sir. So stop, trying to talk down to me.
Stand here pointing that in my face.
Well, then disappear. You're the one that's approached me today, not the other way round.
Can't you?
I don't have to. I don't have to.
No,
It's a public place, and it's up to you to make privacy in a public place. So if you'd like to make privacy, then I suggest you maybe get in your 2 shiny cars with flashy lights, right, and have a conversation. But I will stay here for as long as I want. Listen, if you were to listen,
I've been fair with people. I've been fair with you.
I don't. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. You haven't been fair with me. This video will show that you haven't been fair with me. No, you haven't.
I've not been fair with you. I've just asked you nicely to go on your way.
No, on your way. I don't have to go on my way. But anyway, enjoy your day, mate.
I will.
Fantastic.
So here's the reality, guys. This entire situation didn't need to happen. A lawful act turned into unnecessary conflict because of assumption, misunderstanding, and poor application of authority. And in the end, it's the camera that resolves everything. The same camera that people questioned, challenged, and tried to shut down becomes the only unbiased witness in the entire situation. That's why this matters. Not for drama, but for accountability. Because without evidence, truth becomes negotiable. And when truth becomes negotiable, rights become fragile. So the question is, what happens in the situations that aren't recorded? All right, guys, that's the bigger picture. Stay aware, know your rights, and don't let confidence override the law.